Episode 28 of the Redmont Rangers Road to Glory career mode here on EAFC 24, and our scouts have been earning their keep. We have found a couple of really strong players looking for a new club. So if we take a look at the transfer shortlist here, Abdullah Ali is a 19-year-old centre-back who has not just two playstyles, but one playstyle and one playstyle plus. So he has slide tackle and he has long ball pass. I assume the fact that that one is in orange means it's a playstyle plus anyway. 19 years old, looking for a new club, and it looks to be potentially a hidden gem unearthed by our scouts. That's why you invest in your scouting department. That's why most of our money that we're making from transfers that we're given by the board at the start of the year is going to scouts, youth scouts, that kind of thing, so that we can find players like this and either play them in the first team or turn them over for a decent profit. So 71 defending, 68 physical already at the age of 19. He is just 6'2", a little smaller than I'd like, with 76 jumping. Hopefully that can increase as we get him on a development plan. He's still very young, so physically with the potential to improve. Defensive awareness is 72, stand tackle is 75. And only a 65 slide tackle, but he does have that play style which will probably make it play a little higher. And then we do also have Richard Hassan, so similar, 19 years old, 67 overall, with the intercept play style plus. Really mobile, or relatively mobile anyway, but again, room to grow physically as just a 19-year-old. Good stamina, strength, sprint speed, balance. And then really good stand tackle for his age, 67. Short pass is fantastic at 74. Good ball control. Decent defensive awareness. Again, looks like a really good player that we can bring in on a free. So I'm going to approach to sign both of those players. There was one other centre midfielder that I was interested in, but somebody beat us to the punch. I think it was Bordeaux. So Ali wants an important squad role, which we're going to say yes to. Let's try him first on a 3-year deal. And he wants 5 years. We're going to bring it down to 4, which he'll accept. No release clause is fine. And then he only wants 2.2 thousand, which is really low. The recommended wage here is 3,000. So he's fine to get some money and bonuses and take a slightly lower wage, which I'm more than happy with. So Abdullah Ali joins Redmont Rangers. And then we're going to try the same thing for Richard Hassan. Pierre Laurent was the other one, who I believe was a free agent until very recently. So he's got power header, interestingly enough, at 5'7", 152 pounds. But the playstyle plus of slide tackle, and he looks decent. I like the look of Richard Hassan very much as well, though. Also wants important, which he can certainly have. Also wants 5 years. We'll give him 4 as well. No release clause, and he wants even less, just 1.7. And if he scores 9 goals, then he wants a little under 10,000. You know what? That's fine. I'm not going to bargain too much with them. Not sure what their potential is, since they didn't come through our youth academy, but I feel like for those numbers, they're going to be good signings regardless. So a couple of players added to the squad there that I'm really happy with. I'm just going to check on training plans for now as well, since we probably do want to make sure everybody is on the correct one. So Garbett needs to be on energy focus. Tavide can be on energy focused, although I'm going to leave him on balance because he's probably going to see less playtime right now. Hewitt's going to play very little, so he needs to be on performance. Bullock can now be on balance. Energy focus for De Silva now that he is a little more sharp. We'll put Magoma on performance focus for now. Sam Ford doesn't play loads, so he can be on balance. Lancaster plays a good amount, so he can be on energy focused. Morrow on balance. Dorset on balance. Hutton on performance focused. Same for Suhail. Bevan can stay on balance. He plays a decent amount. I'm going to leave Francis on performance focused actually, since we have just brought in 2 players at his position. And then Jefferson, Hassan and Ali are all going to be on performance focused just for now, although I do expect them to get game time. So with that out of the way, this episode we have 3 games to play. We have Wycombe Wanderers at home, we have Blackpool away, and then we have Stevenage at home. I think we're going to jump straight into this Wycombe Wanderers game. It's another home clash, and it is another opportunity to score some goals and get our season back on the right track. Scott High is a player we looked at, and he looks decent enough to add to the transfer shortlist for now. I do want to tidy up the transfer shortlist a little now that the transfer deadline has passed. But we'll add these players on there for now, and then we'll tidy it up a little bit later on. Billy Mitchell looks very good. Billy Mitchell of EastEnders fame, of course. Max Bird, probably not quite enough to add him. Tyler Morton looks good. Play style on him as well. Joe Powell, probably not quite enough. Looks like Tyler Morton, but worse. And that's the lot for now. I think about playing Lancaster in this game, and I need to think about how I want to line up for this game. So Wycombe are going to play a 5-3-2 holding, so very narrow. They have lost their last 3 games as well. They do have 2 up top. I think I want to go with the 5-2-3 in this game if we can. And then we can change things up if things aren't going particularly well. So I'm going to put Jake Dale up front. I'm going to put Jefferson on the bench though. So he's going to come on and make his debut for Redmont Rangers. I'd quite like to get a look at Walter in this game. And Eli Just has not been playing particularly well, and he is a little tired. So actually we're going to start Walter on the right for this game. And then Lancaster's going to play down the left. We're going to play Garber in midfield. Even though I've not been... Are we going to play Garber in midfield? I've not been particularly impressed by him. I definitely want Anderson. And then I think what we might do is actually play Magoma here alongside Anderson. We definitely want Key at right back. I think Zoroya can continue at left back. And then a back 3. Taylor is our best defender, I would say, at the moment. Stanley is probably our second best. And then in the middle there, I haven't liked Hutton when we played him. Are we going to give another debut as well to the youngster Ali? How does he compare to the likes of Bullock? He's much better than Bullock. He's better in some regards than Hutton. But then if we play him, it would have to be Taylor, Stanley and Ali set up like that. And then we're quite small at the back. 5'10", 6'2", 6'2", 5'8". So 6'2" with 76 jumping. Or 6'2" with 84 jumping. I do like to have a player in the centre there who's very good in the air. I think we'll be alright between... I mean, Stanley's got insane... it feels like Stanley's got insane jumping, but he doesn't. Hewitt already up to 60, so that's good to see. Right, so I think we're going to go with that. Magoma comes in. Ali comes in immediately. Walter makes his first start for Redmont Rangers. Jefferson is on the bench. We've got Bullock, Bevan, Francis, Ford, Gibbs and Jefferson right now. Ford is going to come in for Ford. Hassan is going to come in on the bench as well. And then I think we're best with Gibbs on the bench rather than Eli Just. So that's the way we're going to line up. Let's just make sure we're happy with Ali and Hassan's numbers. One of them is going to have number 13, which is Ali. We're going to have to change their boots as well, since they are just given gross basic EA boots. Hassan gets 15, which is actually fine. So let's give them some nice boots to make sure they're looking fresh as they run out for their debuts. Hassan looks like he would wear maybe those. Yeah, I like those for Hassan actually. And then Ali we went past already. Lots of player wear the Adidas Predators at the moment. So potentially we'll go with those for him as well. Those are nice looking boots actually. I've seen those before. Let's give him the Predators though. And let's jump into this game against Wycombe Wanderers. Only 3 points so far this season. Do we have Jake Dale as captain as well? That was one other thing that we need to make sure of. We don't. It's Stanley. So Stanley's going to have to give the armband back to Jake Dale. And we'll jump into this game against Wycombe Wanderers.
That special and unbeatable feeling of match day is in the air, and the knowledge that this has all the makings of a vibrant and compelling encounter. Anticipation levels are sky high, and every expectation this game will live up to its billing. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you for all the action on EA TV.
So I wasn't sure whether to go with the 4 at the back for this game or the 5 at the back. I feel like with Wycombe playing the 5-3-2, potentially there would be a lot of space in behind for us to exploit with that 4-4-2 formation. However, they do have 2 up front, so I'm just a little wary of being outnumbered at the back there. If we leave ourselves 2-on-2, the 2 centre backs with their 2 strikers, I would prefer to have the 3rd centre back in there and have a bit of an overload at the back. Elliot Willis comes and claims early, rolls the ball out to Magoma, who's going to try and get the Redmont Rangers attack underway. And he does. Jake Dale wants the ball in the centre. Magoma doesn't quite manage to find him. Jake Dale slides in and completely wipes out the goalkeeper. But already I feel like that's a potential chance gone awry there. Brandon Anderson is down in the centre of the pitch. Ryan Lancaster just driving at the box trying to carve out some space. Takes a heavy touch as he approaches the Wycombe penalty area. Lots of debuts today then. So Ali makes his debut in the back line. Just 19 years old, but a really promising prospect. We have had issues at the back to start the season. And I feel like, although Aidan Hutton was a very good defender at League 2 level, he hasn't been able to cut it really in League 1. So something needed to be done about that if we're going to continue playing the 5 at the back. Jefferson likely to make his debut at some point today as well. Walter not making his debut but making his first start for Redmont Rangers. And already the referee has blown his whistle when he shouldn't be. I think he's given us the free kick there somehow though. I would have been confused as to how that was a free kick for Wycombe. I think I'm even more confused about how that's a free kick for Redmont Rangers. Brandon Anderson still seems to be moving okay, so not sure how much that injury is going to affect him.
Rangers have possession again.
Good defender from Zoroya at the back. Not seen too much out of him early this season. He's had a fairly uneventful start to his Redmont Rangers career, but as a defender, I mean, that's not the worst thing. If it's been uneventful, you know, that means he hasn't done too much wrong, probably. It's a good cross from Lancaster. Manages to dig one out there when the angle looked like it wouldn't allow him to do so. Really strong defender from Redmont Rangers early, and this is what I wanted really. This is why I did end up going with the 5 at the back. I just wanted to be secure, solid. Oh, unlucky from McGoman there. Trying to slip a ball through to Jake Dale. That's going to have to be his role today. Both Sam Ford and Michael Garber out of the starting 11. That's another decision that we made for this game, in order to try and be a bit more solid defensively. Going with the 2 defensive midfielders rather than trying to pair Anderson with somebody more attack-minded.
It wasn't quite as good as it looked when it was played over.
Little header down from Anderson. Doesn't manage to find Brian Lancaster, but Anderson's come away with the ball. A busy start early for Anderson. He puts a ball into Jake Dale and the goalkeeper saves. Doesn't manage to hold on to it at the first attempt, but reels it in before Jake Dale was able to snag the rebound. And we are managing to find space in behind in those wide areas, which we thought we would, with Wickham playing such a narrow formation with that 5-3-2 holding formation. It's Nick Zoroya to strike it goal. An interesting attempt there from a narrow angle. Straight at the goalkeeper in the end. Maya Walter will be one to look at today as well. I assume that's how his first name is pronounced anyway. Mael, something like that. That's how he appears on the score sheet as well, with his first name rather than his surname, so it would be useful to know how it's pronounced. But he's been performing really well in simulations, coming up with a couple of goals in the games that we've been quick simming. So it'll be interesting to see how he does in game today. Poor effort from Wickham from the free kick. Flies harmlessly over the bar. And a chance for Walter to run at the Wickham defence. He does so. Not too much on, so he just strikes at goal and it's blocked and out for a corner. It'll be Walter that puts the corner in as well. An in-swinger towards the penalty spot. Lancaster will head back across goal and Jake Dale taps it in. Really, really heads up play from Ryan Lancaster there to just nod it across the 6-yard box. The goalkeeper dives at it but completely misses the ball and it falls to Jake Dale. And he smashes home in what was essentially an empty net. Really good little header from Lancaster just to header it into a dangerous area. The goalkeeper, the Wickham defenders, unsure what to do with it. And it's Jake Dale that pounces and scores what I believe is his 3rd goal of the season so far. So the Redmont Rangers captain really starting to get off the mark now. A little slow to start, but he's starting to find that goal scoring form that made him the top scorer in League 2 just last season. And already Redmont Rangers looking to come away on the counter-attack and build even more pressure. Unable to do so though, and it's Ali that stands up, the Wickham player on the Redmont left, blocked by Brandon Anderson. And it'll be Jake Dale who comes away with the ball now. Watt was just going to have to hold it up. Josh Key makes a run out ahead of him.
To win possession back.
Snuffed out by the Wycombe Wanderers players.
A chance to whip it in.
Good defending from Josh Key there. I quite like the look of Magoma early. I mean, he's not had to do too much, but just looks like a solid fundamental player. Good defensively. And a great ball from Brandon Anderson. Sets Ryan Lancaster in. Jake Dale's at the far post. Lancaster finds him. Dale strikes first time. Potentially had time to bring the ball down there. Instead, he decides to hit it first time on his right foot, and it's a little too close to the goalkeeper. Potentially with time to take it down, control the ball, and then strike with his stronger left foot.
Clearance wasn't decisive. That is how to block. What a commitment to
A good effort from Magoma. He does what Jake Dale didn't, takes the ball down and strikes at goal with his stronger foot.
to build on the lead.
And it bounces off the Wycombe Wanderers player. Looks like potentially there could have been the use of an arm in there. But the referee just gives a corner. Ali finds himself with the ball at his feet. He's going to have to cross. Doesn't manage to beat the first man. And a left-footed centre-back trying to cross the ball with his right foot. It's probably never going to go particularly well. And he is completely cut out of his element, out of his comfort zone down there, Ali. Can't blame him too much. It's not what he's in the team for whatsoever.
The referee allowing the game to flow. Using
There's Magoma again, showing really great strength.
didn't really accrue to
A little too much strength,
to be a free kick.
according to the referee.
Talk about a potential trap.
And Brandon Anderson still
It's
suffering from that knock that he picked up earlier, so I think we're going to have to make a change here. I've given it plenty of time. 20 minutes or so, I would guess, and Brandon Anderson's still uncomfortable, so we've got decisions to make. Do we want to bring on Richard Hassan as another defensive player, or do we want to bring on Sam Ford as a more creative option? I think what we're going to do is bring on Sam Ford,
not coming close to him.
and then if we need to protect the lead later on in the game, we can bring Hassan on. Maybe for Magoma. What I don't want to do is leave myself with only an attacking option on the bench.
Very effective play in possession.
Oh, that's really poor defending. And from the throw-in, we have a throw-in in our own third, and we've given away a goal. Absolutely given the goal to Wycombe there. We throw it straight to them. We can't defend. It's Ali that's at fault for the goal, or most at fault, you would have to say. Multiple players at fault. But Ali lets his man go, and it's that man that ends up putting the ball in the back of the net. So not a great start for the youngster. Just 19 years old and thrown in at the deep end to some extent. And really disappointingly, Redmont Rangers find themselves back level.
And very nicely positioned to win it back. Josh Key. Lancaster.
Good run from Jake Dale. It's not exactly where we'd want him. That's exactly where we'd want him. But Walter, what a mistake from the Wycombe Wanderers defender. Jake Dale puts a ball into the box, right into the position where you would expect to see him, on the end of the cross rather than delivering the cross. It's just the Wycombe Wanderers player that's there to meet it, but fails to clear it, fails to do anything with it really. just heads it down onto the edge of the 6-yard box. Potentially he was trying to head it back to the goalkeeper there. If that was the intention, the goalkeeper didn't read it. And it is Mael Walter who steals in and smashes the ball into, again, what is essentially an empty net. And just as quickly as the lead disappeared, the lead has reappeared. Redmont Rangers 2-1 up now.
Well underway again. It's a narrow 2-1 lead as things stand.
A really bizarre 10 minutes or so.
Brandon Hanlon.
Good challenge again from Magoma. He seems to be everywhere in midfield. I really like the look of him so far. Even if we don't end up signing him permanently, I think at the very least he's going to do a job for us this year. Oh, and the referee has to let that go. That cannot be a free kick. In a really dangerous position as well. Oh, it's a great save from Elliot Willis. And what a challenge from Walter. I gambled on the assumption that the initial player would run over the ball rather than strike it, so the wall just stood there as the free kick was struck. But fortunately Elliot Willis was there to make the save. And Stanley has to get that away. He fails to do so, but Caleb Taylor manages to do so on his behalf, and Walters looks like he's picked up a knock here now as well. Fingers crossed it's not quite as serious as the knock that Brandon Anderson picked up, and hopefully Walter can actually continue.
They'll get ready for the throw-in.
4 minutes of stoppage time, which we are already 2 minutes through.
Jack Grimmer. Chance to cross.
Great challenge from Magoma.
Inside your own penalty area.
And Lancaster just clears. Zoroya doesn't want to get too far up the pitch, since we do have a 1-goal lead to defend.
Scowen. Sadler.
And the referee does blow his whistle. So 2-1 up at half time are Redmont Rangers. A good first half performance, and if it wasn't for that really sloppy goal, it would have been really positive. So goals from Jake Dale and Mael Walter find us 2-1 up at half time. Walter does look fine. He doesn't still have that knock, so we are okay to run out the same 11 for the second half. I think we will just drop into that defensive game plan, at least for the first 10 or 15 minutes or so though. Wouldn't mind a third goal to try and establish a 2-goal lead. But I really wouldn't like us to go and concede a second. And I think Wickham are going to try and start strong. So we'll play with that flat midfield 4 for the first period of this second half. And hopefully just maintain that single goal lead. If we manage to do that, then potentially we can look to attack a little more in the latter stages of the second half. Jake Dale with a thunderous strike. It hits the stanchion rather than the post. But the Wickham defenders just kind of backing off Jake Dale there. And he took the invitation that they were so kindly offering. That is the invitation to shoot. Well won from Sam Ford. Jake Dale comes away with it and tries to set Walter in. Defender's there to meet him, but Walter just cuts it back inside to Jake Dale. Not too much on for him here. But Josh Key finds himself in a good position. If Jake Dale could make a run into the box, Josh Key might be able to find him. And it looked for a moment as if the ball might fall to Jake Dale. And he might be able to unleash another strike on the half turn. Didn't quite work out that way.
Rangers couldn't keep it. That's useful play.
Josh Key unfortunately beaten there. He did well just to get himself in position, but the Wycombe Wanderers attack are too strong. And we see Walter's goal there. A goal that Jake Dale himself would be proud of. Not a fantastic finish, but just very intelligent movement, very aware to be in that position to be able to finish off that attack. Well, it has come over to the left here to start the second half. He's not particularly good on his left foot, so might have to switch him back over to the right before too long. Oh, and Zoroya's let the Wycombe attacker into the box there. He finds a bit of space. What a block though by Ali. So it was his mistake really that led to the Wycombe Wanderers goal earlier, but it's more than made up for it there. And again, and the referee's given another penalty. He's done absolutely nothing there. He's just tried to block the shot. It's not even a penalty, let alone a yellow card. And again, we're going to have to rely on Elliot Willis to keep us in this game. And he somehow doesn't save the penalty. It's a terrible penalty. Elliot Willis goes the correct way. Just over a little early, potentially. That's really poor from Elliot Willis. Just bounces off him and into the roof of the net. And I'm not sure how Wycombe Wanderers find themselves level again. The referee gifting them a penalty that they never should have had. And then Elliot Willis diving the right way, diving early the right way as well, yet failing to stop the penalty.
An example of how to press.
I'm tempted to go with a 4-4-2 and bring Jefferson on up front here.
Both sides have played well going forward. There's been plenty of chances, goals, and a lot of near.
So I do feel like the game is there for the taking.
And perhaps another chance in the making for them here. A patient build-up as they try to fashion something. They're using the space really well.
And Zoroya just puts it out for a corner. I'm going to make the change just to the balanced game plan. So we're going to go 4-4-2 flat. I think I'm going to have to bring Ali off. Keep Stanley and Zoroya at the back. We'll bring Jefferson on up front alongside Dale. And then I think those will be the only changes we make for now. So 2 changes made so far. Brandon Anderson making way earlier due to injury. Daniel Jefferson coming on now for his Redmont Rangers debut.
Playing it in, still not clear.
The header well won from the corner.
Certainly not alone. Looking for the right angle. Plays it back.
And how? I do not understand. The ball is right there to be won. I'm pressing tackle with Zoroya. The ball is balancing on the touchline. And somehow the Wycombe player manages to hold him off. Look at this. And then it goes through Stanley's legs as well. That's absolutely infuriating.
Starting the game, disappointed to have conceded. Can they come up with an equaliser?
The strength that they possess when they shield the ball is superhuman. And perfect control as well to keep that ball in. When it's right on the touchline. That's such a frustrating goal to concede.
Chance to cross. Determined defending. Breaking at pace.
Stay onside.
He's in here. In position.
Jake Dale levels it up. Let's go. Just managed to stay onside. Daniel Jefferson with the decoy run, occupying the defender. Jake Dale didn't need him. Just powered through into the penalty area, smashes it beyond the goalkeeper.
It's a really emphatic finish. It would give the keeper no chance.
And again, the game is level. Really want to win this game now.
Again at 3-all. Booth. Josh Scowen.
Really good game for the neutral, but an incredibly frustrating game for us.
Target, however.
We do have the edge according to win probability.
Stanley. Well, the situation has changed in one of the other games. Here's Alex Scott with the news.
Jake Dale again driving towards goal. Again finding himself with some space to shoot. Strikes at goal, but it's straight at the goalkeeper. Jake Dale taken out after the shot. Of course, we don't get a penalty for that though. And the Redmont Rangers star man trying to do it all himself.
Trying to deliver it accurately.
Oh, and he almost wins the header there. Taylor puts it back out. And again we win the corner. 20 minutes to go. Still enough time to win this game for sure. And it's a fantastic header. Not even sure who managed to get his head on that. I think it was Paris Magoma. Came absolutely flying in. And I think the goal is still shaking after the thunderous header hit the bar.
Very effective play in possession.
Walter has an opportunity to bring the ball away. Daniel Jefferson's making a run ahead of him. What will put it in behind for him to chase. And Jefferson, although he is big, is pacey. Cuts inside. Strikes at goal. And it's just over the bar. Goes with his right foot. He was better positioned to strike with his left, but it's his weaker foot of the two. So you can't blame him too much for going with the right. And Walter again, there's plenty of space down the flanks there. Redmont Rangers to exploit. Jefferson finds himself with the second opportunity, strikes across goal with his right foot again and makes no mistake this time. Fires the ball into the back of the net and Redmont Rangers lead 4-3. It's a 7-goal thriller as it stands. Daniel Jefferson with a goal on his debut. And he looks big, he looks powerful, he looks strong. And it looks like he can finish as well. We weren't too sure after that first shot that he lashed over the bar. But that one was fairly definitive. We're going to drop into our defensive game plan for the last 10 minutes or so. So we're going to have to going to have to bring Jake Dale off. We're going to leave Jefferson up front. And we're going to go back to
Just 10 minutes to go.
that midfield 4. Back to a back 5 as well. So we're going to have to decide, do we want to bring on Bullock?
Mark Lawrence.
Or will Magoma drop into the back 5? I think we'll probably bring on Bullock, to be honest.
Good piece of defending.
Hassan as well will be a player that comes on. Oh, unfortunate from Walter, unable to hold on to the ball there. The sooner the ball goes out of play, the better. I think actually enough time has passed that we want to drop into our ultra defensive game plan and really sit back and try and hold on to this narrow lead that we've managed to re-establish for ourselves.
Counter-attacking possibilities.
Sam Ford does really well just to buy a bit of time and find Walter. I think Walter's legs have just gone. He's tired. He started the game really well.
Really effective shielding under pressure.
And I think we're just going to put the ball out of play here. So 5 minutes to go. I'm going to jump into the ultra defensive game plan. So we're going to leave Jefferson up front. We are going to bring on, I think, Bullock into that back 5. And we've got 3 changes that we can make. So I think we're going to bring Hassan on here. And then we will bring Gibbs on here.
And a throw-in it's going to be.
And that'll be it for the last 5 minutes. So really good performance from Paris Magoma, who leaves the field. He looks really good. And if Brandon Anderson is injured, I'll certainly feel comfortable starting Paris Magoma in the next match based on his performance here. Good defender from Nick Zaroya. Couple of minutes left plus stoppage time. We just need to defend this corner and clear. Not quite able to do that after Stanley's initial header. But we should be able to here as Sam Ford comes away with the ball. Tries to square it for Jefferson, who's going to have to work hard to win the ball back. Doesn't quite manage to do that. And Elliot Willis again is absolutely floundering. He's not good enough. He's absolutely not good enough. We should have brought in another goalkeeper. And the Redmont Rangers fans with their heads in their hands as they watch their goalkeeper concede yet another poor goal. It's a near post. Again, it's poor defending though. Defenders just kind of standing around and watching as players take control of the ball in the penalty area. You'd think there'd be a little more urgency, but there simply isn't. And we're in trouble again. We could be in big trouble here. Take the ball to the corner instead. We might be able to forge one last opportunity. Stanley comes away with the ball. Gibbs wants it into his feet. He gets it. Squares it to Bullock. Bullock, I think, is on up front in place of Jefferson. Just because of the changes that we made earlier, everybody's out of position. And it looks like it's going to be an 8-goal thriller that ends in the point shared. And that's such a frustrating way to give away the victory. We should have won that game about 3 times over.
They had the game won and were in control, but they just couldn't see it out. That's a real blow to them.
Really disappointing. It feels like we've lost, even though we have come away from the game with a point. The new signings look good. Magoma played well. Jefferson looked really dangerous when he came on. Ali looked less good. Hassan really didn't have too much time to make his mark on the game. Everybody else looked fairly poor. Anderson is out, but only for 5 days, so not too bad. We need team performances. Jake Dale obviously was very good as well. 2 goals for him. Walter looked good in the first half. Faded a little in the second.
Thanks very much.
And we just cannot stop shipping goals. So, 2 more games to get to in this episode, with Blackpool away and then Stevenage at home. Right now we find ourselves still in 16th, so we don't move in the table. Hassan, I think, he wants to come in for Brandon Anderson, but I think it's going to be Magoma, potentially not actually, that takes his place. It is match day, so yeah, it looks like Magoma. I think actually we're going to go with a 4-4-2 for this game, and we're going to play Dale and Jefferson up front. I think we will go with Hassan alongside Garbett. Gibbs will come out for Lancaster. Just will come back into the side, and then what we deem our strongest back 4 will play. Bullock, De Silva. We've got Ford on the bench there, and Francis can come onto the bench with Gibbs and Morrow rounding out the team. So let's see what we can do against Blackpool. Don't mind too much if we get results in the quick sim. We get another point, which isn't too bad away from home. Josh Key gets on the score sheet. I think that might be his first goal for Redmont Rangers, so that's good to see. Wrexham do lose again. Ryan Brewster we've looked at. 71 overall. Kind of looks relatively similar to Daniel Jefferson. And then Cameron Archer I think is going to be too expensive for us. His release clause is nearly 20 million. That's a lot. Probably not a player that we're going to be looking at even next year once... Well, I say next year just with the assumption that we're going to get promoted this season. Certainly doesn't look like we're going to get promoted at this rate. But I'm hoping we can turn things around and still be in with a chance of promotion this season. Oh, Bevan I was going to bring in for Zoroya, but he's actually away on international duty. I think we're going to start Morrow for this second game that we're going to quick sim. Bullock is a little tired, so Dorset can come in for him instead. And I think we're going to give Gibbs a start. Tavide can hit the bench as well, so we've got a good amount of players now that we can rotate. Bevan I still need to take out actually. Got a good number of players now that we can rotate and make changes without the strength of our team suffering too much. Really hope we get a victory here against Stevenage. We are at home and we do win 2-0, so that's a pretty big result. Morrow scores again. I think his first goal for Redmont Rangers. Bullock scores a nice goal to make it 2-0. So a draw, 2 draws. Wait, what happened in the last game? How have I forgotten that already? We did draw against Blackpool. Yeah, so 2 draws and a win. Actually, it's not too bad for the episode. It feels much, much worse just because of the way that game against Wycombe Wanderers ended up going. But we've actually moved up 4 places in the table to 12th. The playoffs are just 4 points away. So actually we are still building a little bit of momentum, getting our season on track, And we've won 3, drawn 3 and lost 3. So I don't think we can complain too much. We have, however, conceded the joint third most amount of goals so far. That will happen when you're conceding 4 goals at home. So definitely something we're going to have to look to address. We did try and look to address that with a couple of additions over the summer. But it looks like we're going to have to continue to focus on that particular area. So 9 games played, mid-table. I don't think that's too bad so far. The board do want us to gain automatic promotion though. So really going to have to start turning things around if we do want to gain automatic promotion. Only the 2 automatic promotion spots this year, of course. Whereas there were 3 last season in League 2. So we're going to have to get first or second. And then it's the playoffs if not. I would be content with the playoffs. Not sure how the board would feel about that. So we'll look to continue along the right track in the next episode with games against Charlton Athletic away, Rotherham at home, and then Bristol Rovers away as well. So we'll play our pick of those 3 games in the next episode as we move into October. And so until that episode, take it easy.